Let's start with collision theory. Now I'm just going to check my charger on my laptop. Otherwise my laptop will die in about half an hour. So, good. Let's start with collision theory and let's talk about why things happen. So, chemical reactions are a result of collisions between molecules. So it's essentially like two things collide. So, probably going to use it's a bit of a sinister example, but I'm just thinking about it at the time. Think about something like football. So think about you only get an injury most of the time when two things collide, two players collide. You get players bumping into each other. You get collision. You get an injury. That is sort of you've got your reaction. They collide. Then you get your product, which is the injury. However, it says here not all collisions result in a reaction. So not all collisions in football result in an injury. Think of it like that. So collisions that result in reactions are successful, or what we refer to as fruitful, which is just a very fancy word for successful. Two main aspects that determine whether collision is successful is whether there was sufficient energy and whether they were in the correct orientation. So they had two really key facts. So let's go over sort of sufficient energy first. So sufficient energy looks at our activation energy. Now you will have seen one of these diagrams before. These are our energy diagrams. They look at a reaction. Remember that this here would be exothermic. And so what you can see is that, oops, I did not mean to get rid of that. Let me get that back up. What you can see here is that when we look at this here, we have this arrow going from here to here. This here is your activation energy. This is the amount of energy. So let's just say, for theory's sake, and this is not going to be anywhere near correct, but we'll say, this is 50 kilojoules, and then this is like, 120 kilojoules. You would need 70 kilojoules of energy just to make this reaction occur. Then you would produce from here to here, let's just say this was down to 20 kilojoules. You would then go and produce 100 kilojoules of energy. But what is your net? Your net would be, because the 70 that you used is then cancelling out 70 of what you make, your net would then be your 30 kilojoules down here. But it's positive because, technically it's negative actually. It's negative because it's leaving the system, the energy here. So this energy is what we refer to as negative. It's not actually negative energy. It's just the direction of it. It's leaving the system. So by this energy being negative and leaving the system, what do we then say? Well, it's exothermic because the energy is gone from the system. So this would be an exothermic. Now, this is what we refer to as sufficient energy, is this part here. This is your activation energy, or E to the little a. That is activation energy. You're welcome to use E to the little a in exams and in SACs. That's how we refer to as activation energy. If you are writing like a 3 or 4 mark question, I would say in brackets, E to the little a equals, activation, energy, and then, then from there on use E to the a. Just sort of giving context to the examiner. So as you can see here, we've got a reaction energy profile. On either side, reactant products. Top of the hill is transition state. It can be described as an activation barrier. So it's like a barrier, and if you don't hit it hard enough, you're not going to get a reaction. And energy needed to go from ground state to transition state is essentially what we're looking at. The energy of the collision has to be greater than the activation energy for it to occur. So if it's still not making sense, made it like Legos. Imagine Lego bricks are like atoms making up molecules. You get that, you get to that. And it's saying, hey, what do I need to get from this to this? I need to add some energy in here. So in this case here, this would be like an endothermic reaction. If we're going the other way, it would be like an exothermic. So this is the added activation energy, and it actually ends up being sort of added in, because remember with these profiles, it ends up like this. This part of it is what ends up getting added in, whereas these bricks here may be the leftovers. So collisions must occur with correct orientation. I much rather my football example than the Lego example, by the way. So this is a very intricate part of this, and it's very detailed, and you'll find that this doesn't come up all that often, and there is a reason this doesn't come up all that often, and that reason is that these orientations as such, are quite complicated, and so we simplify it right down. We simplify it all the way down to just looking at sort of like, is it hitting on the right side? If it is, we're going to get it. If not, don't worry about it. There is far more detail to this, but it's not at a VCE level. So, as you can see here, we want to add in an OH, or like a hydroxide group, and we want to remove that bromide or bromine. as you can see here, we cannot get rid of it if we hit from this side because we need to knock this off. So by doing so, what you need to actually do is, well, this side would actually work. So essentially you're going to hit it on here and it's going to knock it off the other way. If you hit it directly, it's not actually going to work. So essentially what you need to do is knock it from the other side, you need to hit it away, and then it works. If you hit it on the same side, it's not going to work. Now, when I said there, I said, oh, well, you need to hit it directly. Some cases it's hitting it directly, some cases it isn't. That's why that sort of detail you're never going to get asked. You're not going to ask that in a SAT, you're not going to ask that in an exam, you're not going to be asked, oh, did it hit it in this exact spot? All you need to do is just discuss, hey, it just needs to hit it in the correct orientation. That is it. That's all you need to know. You don't really need to know anything more than that. You don't need to know exact examples. You don't need to know exactly where it needs to hit. You just need to know, hey, it needs to hit in the correct orientation. So that should simplify that sort of concept right down. So to reiterate, the main aspects to determine whether collision is successful is correct orientation and sufficient amount of energy. They are the two really big things. You need to make sure you have those two things in order for it to occur. So collisions must be sufficiently energetic or have sufficient energy, and they must be in the correct orientation. Cool. So